I'd like to begin today by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land I'm on, the Kalkadoon people, and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. I'm Nadia Cowperthwaite and I'm coming to you from Mount Isa in Outback Australia. I'm currently working on a research degree at CQ University, where I'm producing a creative artefact, a novel, that delves into conspiracy theory belief. Autoethnography is one of my methodologies, and I'm looking to understand and analyse conspiracy theory belief through the eyes of a journalist. My research question for this piece is, how does the use of design content language within the media, including social media and websites, influence people's belief in conspiracies and propaganda, plus satisfy someone's inherent need for community? The reasons I'm doing this is to try and understand what draws people into conspiracy theories, to then pass information on to the general public, and to help friends and family of people who are lost to extremist conspiracy beliefs. I'm not taking the normal road for this one. I am doing a creative artefact, and I'm doing that through the eyes of a journalist and as a researcher. Here's a quick overview of the plot for you. Amina is the protagonist. Her partner gets involved in a conspiracy theory community, and Amina finds herself needing to discover why he's believing the information he's finding. She goes down a little bit of a rabbit hole herself. She uncovers an actual conspiracy during all of her investigating, and will find new love, and hopefully there'll be lots of action. I wanted to mention my subplots because I feel that they have a big bearing on what I'm actually studying here. So I'm looking at multi-level marketing, psychological operations where a foreign government might interfere in local elections. Who makes money from conspiracy theories? There's always got to be a money trail. And family dynamics and support systems. Autoethnography is the vehicle that pushes the amalgamation of the psychology and analysis of extremist conspiracy theory belief into the creative artefact and accompanying exegesis. I'm doing this through the eyes of a journalist, looking through the advertisement library on Facebook for similarities or blatant falsehoods, taking into consideration things such as font styles, colours, wording, photographic styles. I'm talking to people about their beliefs and how they feel about terms that are used, such as conspiracy theorist or debunking. And I'm looking at far-right news websites and conspiracy theory sites to see how they actually make money, what sort of advertisements they have. Do they get donations, and how do they get those donations? I'll also be trawling through fact-checking websites such as Snopes, which I'm sure many people have heard of, and then double-checking and cross-referencing those. Previously, I worked in a research communications role in the government, where I would sometimes have to fact-check and debunk a conspiracy theory. This experience has inspired and shaped the protagonist of my story and my understanding of how misinformation is created. An example of this is a sign that was photographed on a beach in Victoria, Australia. On first glance, I see a piece of paper printed in black with a little bit of red, and that straight away says that it wasn't printed by the local council. But if somebody is asking for help on whether they should believe it, I need a little bit more evidence than that. So looking a bit closer, the city of Greater Melbourne doesn't actually exist. There is a Melbourne City Council and several other councils that make up the Greater Melbourne area, but none by that name. There are also no beaches in Melbourne City Council Shire. A quick internet search for Supreme Islamic Council of Victoria shows that it also doesn't exist, and that the closest name is the Islamic Council of Victoria. The fact-checking website Snopes, for example, has covered all of this, but I followed up with a quick phone call to the Melbourne City Council to make sure that my research was on the right direction. This process is what I'm hoping to teach people through the novel, that it's okay to ask questions, to look into the information you are seeing, but that research needs to take into account official websites, and that you can't always do everything on the internet. Sometimes you just need to pick up the phone and double check. On the left, I've listed just a few of the areas that have inspired me in this process. I obviously love fiction that involves secret organisations and conspiracy. On the right is the journey that is underway. I'm still early in this process, but I've already found when talking to people about my studies that I do need to listen to many conspiracy theories and that I just need to remain still and listen. I don't try to convince the person otherwise. I simply listen to them and remain in a non-judgmental space. I chose autoethnography as I believe following my own research practices and then relaying them through the creative artefact is the best way for me to connect with the reader. New skills that I learn throughout the process will be learnt by the protagonist in the story and will give more three-dimensional character development. All the research into the philosophy and psychology of conspiracy theories will be filtered through a personal lens and into my journal. Thank you so much for attending my little lecture, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference. You can find me on social media with the handle Nadia Cowper, and I look forward to chatting with you during the conference.